boy, where to start with this film? Hey guys, it's me again, and I am here to talk about Lee Cronin's Mummy movie. Now, I don't know if y'all been seeing the hype around this movie, but it's a pretty moderately hyped movie, and I think there are aspects of it that I'm a big fan of, and other aspects of it where I'm like, what the hell is this? And so I'm here to talk about it. Now, I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler free as possible, but for those of you that want the general story beats, stay on and I'll sort of go over that. But for those who don't want that, just skip to this time code right over here and you will get a spoiler free review from that point on. But for everybody else that stayed, how scary is it? It's moderately scary. I feel like there's a lot of horror moments in it, a lot of dreadful moments in it. But if you're looking for something to truly disturb you, this isn't where you're gonna find it. There's disturbing moments, but after I left the theater, I was just more like, that's crazy, and not really like, oh my gosh, that perturbed me to my soul. So scariness rating is about a 7. In regards to the general story, basically starts off with this family, and then their daughter gets lost in Cairo, and then 8 years later, they suddenly find their daughter in this weird semi-mummified state where it turns out there's a demon inhabiting her, and she just fucks the whole family up. And destroys them, dude. Destroys the whole dynamic and everything. It's basically the most simple monster come into house story that you'll ever see. But what I really like about it is at the end of it, they do a really cool thing with the mummy curse, which it is a curse and not really like an actual, like a mummy from Egypt. It's just a curse of the mummy. Then they utilize that curse in a very unique and revengeful way, which I really like. Now, to give my spoiler-free review, I will say, again, it's a fun, scary movie. It doesn't really have a crazy story, and what I mean by that, it doesn't have a deep and impactful story. Like, let's say something similar, sort of, to this movie is Bring Her Back. You're not gonna find anything like that of substance in this movie. It's mostly just a really demonic possession story, similar honestly to the Evil Dead franchise. So if you like the Evil Dead, I think you're gonna like this movie. Now, I will say, just like the Evil Dead series itself, there are a lot of absurd moments. Like, low-key, at a couple of scenes, there's a couple lines in the film where I'm like, bruh, you've got to be kidding me. You really said that? Or a scene where something absurd, not super scary, happens and you're like, ew, what the heck? But afterwards you're just like, okay, that's cool, I guess. That was weird, but I guess that it's doing the scary for just the kicks of it, you know? It's not really scary because it's scary, but it's just ooh, ew. It's hard to describe, but if you watch the movie, you understand what I'm saying. Now, I will say that the shots are really well composed. Apart from, I will say, they add 10 bajillion dioptic shots in this film, and it is kind of obnoxious. If you don't know what a dioptic shot is, it's basically where the foreground and the background are both in focus. And there's usually this blurry line in between, because usually you have to composite both of those shots together. But there were so many. Now, don't get me wrong, there were good shots, but it's obnoxious when you sort of use one technique as a gimmick, which I didn't really like. At the end of this movie, I found it again obnoxious, but to each their own. I think that all the actors did really good. I mean the standout is the mummy character in this film. The girl, Katie, oh my goodness, she is demented, bro. A really good job. Now, I really expected the parents to have more dimension, and they sort of allude to that in the first half of the movie, but I will say, after the second half, after that, that half point went through, and stuff starts flying off the walls, then that's the point where I'm like, okay, these characters are a little bit two-dimensional now. And I think my biggest issue with this film is that there were so many moments where logically it does not make sense. And I'm not the type of person to point at like logical mistakes in films, but with The Mummy in particular, very apparent. There's this one scene in particular where the mummy is in a very like noticeable place and nobody notices the mummy. Like, brother, like, you do not see that thing crawling on your walls and ceiling. Like, oh my gosh. And that sort of leads me to, while this movie has a lot of scary scenes and really well executed scary scenes, I feel like the build up to those scenes were sort of hashed in order to get to that place. And what I mean by that is, skip ahead to this timestamp if you do not want any spoilers, but to give a more specific example, I thought a really good scene was the little sister. I forgot her name, bro, whatever her name is, but she was smiling with the dentures that the grandma has. I thought that was a really good scene, but the way it got over there was that she went up to the freaking coffin in the funeral party that everybody was in and just yanked those bad boys out. Nobody notices. Like, what? Like, you couldn't have thought of a more creative way to execute that. And yeah, that's the part that really, like, brother, are you for real? But overall, I really thought that this was a really fun and scary movie, and I am looking forward to watching the new Evil Dead trailer. I was pissed off that they didn't show it in my theater because I heard that they were gonna play it during the Mummy screening, but they didn't for me because they don't like me and they knew I was there and they wanted to target me specifically. And I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, I thought overall it was like a 6 or 7 out of 10, and I really, I think this is low-key a hot take because from what I've seen from social media and a couple of my friends, like, this is not a good movie at all, but I low-key enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. Don't go into it thinking it's some artsy-fartsy movie or a really good movie. It's just an okay movie with good scares, and I think that's worth a watch. So hey, if you like this video, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.